Jude Harrison's dinosaur nightlight cast long shadows as a sound jerked him awake. Not a whimper, but a deep, rhythmic growl pulsing through the bedroom wall. The 5-year-old pressed his ear to the plaster. Silence. Then thud. Something massive slammed against the other side. Downstairs, his parents Claire and William Dawson slept through it all. But Jude knew. He grabbed his flashlight, the beam trembling as he traced cracks in the wallpaper. There. Again. A guttural woof, the kind his grandpa's police dog used to make. Jude's breath fogged the wall as he whispered, "I hear you." The response? 3 deliberate scrapes of claws against concrete. Not "help me. Come find me." William Dawson nearly spilled his coffee when Jude shoved a crayon drawing across the breakfast table. A broad-chested German shepherd behind vertical lines. "His name's Rex," Jude insisted, pointing to the prong collar he'd inexplicably detailed. Claire's fork clattered onto her plate. They'd never owned a dog. Never mentioned prong collars. William, an ex-Marine, recognized the breed instantly. "That's a K9 pose," he muttered. The drawing showed Rex in a perfect alert stance, ears pricked toward some unseen threat. Jude nodded solemnly. "He says the bad man put him there." Outside, thunder rumbled. The house's previous owner, Norman Whitaker, had been a security guard. With sudden clarity, William grabbed his toolbox. Some walls needed breaking. The basement smelled of damp concrete and something coppery. William's flashlight revealed uneven drywall patches. Too hasty, too thick. Rex's growls, now audible to all, vibrated through the floorboards above. Jude knelt in the corner. Tiny hands splayed where the sound was loudest. "Here," he whispered. Claire's phone flashlight caught what her husband missed. Bloody claw marks at ankle height. Not random scratches. Letters. LYD. William's crowbar bit into the wall. Plaster rained down. Then, a black muzzle streaked with saliva and rust shoved through the gap. Rex's golden eyes locked onto Jude. The boy didn't flinch. "You're safe now," he said, as the dog's 90-pound frame collapsed forward into the light. Behind him, the hidden chamber's walls told a story in furrows and dried blood. Rex hadn't just been trapped. He'd fought to get out. Dr. Lucia Mendoza's latex gloves snapped as she examined Rex on the stainless steel table. "Malnourishment, severe dehydration, ligature marks," she listed, her voice tightening at the shaved patch on his neck. This was a tattooed K9 ID, surgically removed. William's gut churned. The dog's cropped ears and straight back screamed professional training. Rex suddenly lunged, not aggressively, but toward Jude's pocket. A crinkled photo fell out. Norman Whitaker in a security uniform, gripping a German shepherd's collar. The same dog. "Rex says that man hurt kids too," Jude murmured. Detective Frank Brody, called in for the abuse case, froze mid-note. A cold case file flashed in his mind. Missing children near Whitaker's old posts. Rex's piercing bark shattered the tension. A sound veterans like William recognized. An alert. A warning. Some dogs protect houses. Rex was protecting secrets. 6 weeks without food. 2 months in total darkness. Yet Rex's pulse stayed strong under Dr. Mendoza's fingers. "Military dogs are trained to endure," she noted, shaving a matted section of fur, revealing a bullet graze. William's breath caught. This wasn't just survival. This was a mission. Jude, coloring nearby, suddenly held up a drawing. Rex in a K9 vest, standing over a huddled shape, a child. "He showed me where the bad man hides things," the boy said. Detective Brody compared it to Whitaker's property map. Perfect match. That night, Rex staggered to his feet for the first time. His paws shaking but his stance disciplined. He limped to Jude's bed, flopping down with a soldier's sigh across the boy's feet. Not a pet, a guardian resuming his post. Detective Brody spread Norman Whitaker's waterlogged journal across the Dawson's kitchen table. Page after page of paranoid rambling. "The dog knows. The dog always knows." Claire recoiled at a sketch of Rex muzzled in a makeshift straitjacket. But it was Jude who found the critical entry, dated the day Whitaker vanished. "If I can't silence him, I'll bury us both." Rex, lying at the boy's feet, growled low in his throat. Not at the book. At the map tucked in the back. A fishing cabin by Miller's River. William recognized it instantly. "SWAT raided that place last year. Found nothing." Rex's head snapped up. His ears pivoted forward, the trained response to a command. But no one had spoken. Jude's small hand gripped the dog's scruff. "Rex says look under the house." That night, cadaver dogs would find 3 small bones beneath the cabin's floorboards. Rex had given names to the nameless. The forensic team worked under floodlights as Rex watched from the patrol car, his paws leaving bloody prints on the seats. He'd refused to stay behind. Now, as the techs bagged evidence, Rex's whine pierced the night, a sound that sent Detective Brody sprinting to a rusted toolbox in the weeds. Inside, a child's hair ribbon, a chewed dog toy, and a silver K9 tag reading, Rex number 7814. William's hands shook. These weren't trophies. They were a trail. Jude, half asleep against Claire's shoulder, murmured, "The girl in Rex's dreams wears pink." Brody's radio crackled. A bolo for Lydia Reyes, age 8. Last seen in a pink coat near Whitaker's old security route. Rex's reaction was instant. A howl so primal the cops froze. Not grief. A battle cry. Some dogs fetch sticks. Rex fetched justice. And he wasn't done yet. Jude's fever spiked at 103 degrees Fahrenheit as the visions came. Black water, a red door, the number 12. Rex refused to leave the boy's bedside. His warm bulk a living heating pad. Dr. Mendoza monitored both patient and dog, noting how Rex licked Jude's palm at each vision's peak. "He's sharing memories," she realized. William decoded the Roman numerals Motel Room 12, while Claire recognized the snow globe from Jude's ramblings. Detective Brody was already en route to the Pine Crest Inn when Rex suddenly leaped onto Jude's bed, his bark shattering the night. The boy sat bolt upright. "She's in the bathtub," he gasped. "With the puppy." Brody's tires screeched outside the motel as Rex's paws scrambled at the car window. The clock read 2:17 a.m., right on time. Rain sheeted off Detective Brody's Kevlar as he approached room 12. Rex strained against his leash, nose working the door jamb, then froze. Every muscle locked in perfect alert stance. The SWAT team breached the door. Inside, a blackened bathtub where Lydia Reyes curled around a skeletal pitbull puppy. Rex surged forward, his military-trained body clearing debris in one bound. Lydia's whimper matched Rex's high-pitched whine, a sound German shepherds reserve for found children. As paramedics lifted her, Rex gentled his teeth around her sleeve, refusing to let go until Jude arrived. Later, they'd find Whitaker's handwritten logs under a floorboard. Subject 7814 reacts to child vocalizations. Must terminate. But tonight, Rex simply rested his massive head on Lydia's gurney as she whispered his real name, the one etched on his original tag, Guardian. Sunlight streamed through the hospital blinds as Rex settled at the foot of Lydia's bed. His once glossy coat still patchy but his eyes clear. Jude dozed in the chair beside them, one small hand buried in Rex's fur. Detective Brody studied the K9 badge they'd recovered. Rex number 7814, Silver Creek PD. Now hanging from a new collar. "Retired military dogs get adopted," William noted. "But stolen." Claire stroked Rex's ears as Lydia slept. The girl's fingers tangled in hope the puppy's fur. Rex's tail thumped once, a soldier's approval. Outside, reporters clamored for the miracle dog story, but Rex ignored them. His mission wasn't fame. It was this: Jude's steady breath, Lydia's quiet dreams, the weight of a child's trust on his scarred back. As his eyes drifted shut, the last image he showed Jude wasn't of dark basements or red doors, just an open field. And running, always running. The animal hospital staff stood at attention as Rex took his first unassisted steps since liberation. His once powerful legs trembled like a rookie soldier's after a 20-mile hike. but his posture remained rigid, head high, tail straight. Dr. Lucia Mendoza bit her lip as he dragged his four-stand behind him like disobedient equipment. 5 steps. 10. Then Rex did what no one expected. He pivoted sharply and saluted Jude with a precise nudge of his wet nose to the boy's forehead. William's eyes burned. That wasn't a pet trick. It was military protocol, how K-9s greet their handlers. Detective Brody's radio chose that moment to crackle. Forensics matched the basement claw marks to 3 missing children's cases. Rex's ears swiveled toward the sound, his amber eyes locking onto Brody's. The message was clear. This wasn't rehabilitation. This was redeployment. Jude's nightmares now came with coordinates. Rex shows me numbers. The boy mumbled at breakfast, drawing 12 and 41.4034 degrees north in his syrup. Claire's blood ran cold when Google Maps revealed a fishing shack at those exact coordinates. Rex paced like he was wearing an invisible vest, his claws clicking out a Morse code rhythm only William recognized. Seek, find, protect. That afternoon, Rex led them to the basement's northeast corner and dug until his paws bled, unearthing a rusted ammunition box. Inside, Polaroids of a little girl in a pink coat, Lydia Reyes, and a list of dates spanning 7 years. Rex's reaction was instantaneous. He clamped his jaws around Detective Brody's sleeve and dragged him toward the door, the same way K-9s signal move out. Some dogs fetch slippers. Rex fetched justice. Rain slashed sideways as Rex hit the fish plant's crimson door at full tactical speed. No hesitation. No fear. The wood splintered under his 90-pound frame, revealing horrors worse than imagined. Makeshift kennels welded from shopping carts, syringes littering the floor, and worst of all, a child-sized cage with the word Lydia scratched inside. Rex's combat training took over. He cleared each corner with methodical precision, his nose identifying every victim who'd passed through. Scout, Max, Princess, names later found in Whitaker's ledger. When they reached the back room, Rex froze at a blood-stained dog bowl, his entire body vibrating. Not with fear, with purpose. Jude suddenly gasped. He says she's alive. She took Hope and ran. Rex's ears snapped forward at the name, confirming what the vet would later find tattooed inside Hope's ear. Subject 7815. Rex wasn't just searching for a girl. He was retrieving his fellow soldier. The notebook pages reeked of river water and despair, but Lydia Reyes' childish script stood defiant. Day 29. Gave my juice box to Subject 7815. Daddy hit me, but I don't care. Rex nosed the journal open to the final entry, a crude map of the riverbank with 12 circled. Detective Brody's flashlight beam caught what they'd missed before. Roman numerals scratched into every doorframe at the fish plant. Rex's alert bark pierced the night as he bolted toward the water, his powerful strokes cutting through the current until he reached a half-submerged crate. Inside, a sodden pink coat wrapped around 3 chewed-through leashes. William's military training connected the dots first. She engineered an escape. Rex shook water from his coat with a soldier's pride, his gaze locking onto a distant glow, the pine crest inn's vacancy sign. The hunt wasn't over. The war dog had just found the trail. Jude's fever spiked at exactly 2:17 a.m., the same time he'd first heard Rex's cries. The boy thrashed as visions bombarded him. A black truck's cracked windshield, a snow globe with a red barn, the smell of diesel and wet dog. Rex responded to each clue with tactical precision, nudging a toy truck toward William, pawing at Claire's souvenir snow globe, even bringing Jude's sneakers in his teeth. Detective Brody was already en route to the motel when Rex performed his most chilling act. He sat at attention by the front door and raised one paw, the K-9 signal for confirmed suspect. The digital clock read 2:17 a.m. Jude's eyes flew open. Room 12, he gasped. She's in the bathtub with Hope. Rex didn't wait for leashes or commands. He hit the screen door at full charge, his battle-torn body moving with one purpose: bring them home. Rex took room 12's door like it was a hostile barrier, shoulder first, teeth bared, his 85 pounds of muscle reducing the wood to splinters. The scene inside would haunt Detective Brody's dreams. 8-year-old Lydia Reyes curled in a dry bathtub, her arms locked around an emaciated pit bull puppy. Rex's training overrode his instincts. Instead of attacking, he performed a perfect casualty assessment, nosing Lydia's pulse point, checking Hope's gums, then standing guard as paramedics arrived. When Lydia whispered, "Subject 7814," Rex's entire body shuddered. That was his designation from Whitaker's files. Jude threw his arms around the dog's neck as William decoded the truth. Rex hadn't just been imprisoned. He'd been deprogrammed after refusing to attack children during Whitaker's training. Now, as Rex licked Lydia's grimy face, his tail wagged for the first time since rescue. The soldier had completed his final mission. The dog was finally free. Dr. Mendoza's surgical lights glared down on Hope's skeletal frame as Rex paced the clinic's waiting room, his claws gouging trenches in the linoleum. The pit bull puppy's condition was dire. Parvovirus, broken ribs, chemical burns from training solutions. When Hope's heart monitor flatlined, Rex did something unimaginable. He barged into the oar and clamped his jaws gently around Hope's scruff, the way mother dogs carry pups. As Dr. Mendoza shocked the puppy, Rex hummed, a deep vibration in his chest that made the staff pause. Military dog handlers would recognize it. The steadying rumble taught to medics K9s. Hope's heartbeat stuttered back to life as Lydia burst through the doors in her hospital gown, collapsing beside Rex. "You came back," she sobbed into his fur. Rex nosed Hope's paw, a soldier's blessing before resuming his watch. Some heal with medicine. Some heal with tooth and resolve. The viral video showed what words couldn't. Rex and Hope meeting in the shelter yard. The German Shepherd's initial stiffness melted as the pit bull puppy wobbled toward him on unsteady legs. When Hope collapsed, Rex did something that broke the internet. He dragged his own bed outside and nudged the puppy onto it, then stood guard in the rain. Lydia and Jude joined them, creating a pile of survivors that left viewers sobbing. But the real miracle happened off camera. Rex teaching Hope to eat without flinching, to walk without cowering, to trust without fear. Detective Brody watched them through the fence, Whitaker's ledger in hand. Page after page documented failed subjects, except Rex. Subject 7814 retains defensive loyalty to children. Recommend termination. Brody tossed the file in his trunk. Some terminations become legends. That night, Rex slept with one eye open not from trauma, but because soldiers never fully stand down. Not when there's still someone to protect. Rex's service tags jingled as he walked the Senate chamber aisles, his polished nails clicking like a general's dress shoes. Jude, now 7, spoke first. Rex says bad places smell like bleach and screaming. Lydia, 9, added, and good people don't look away. The politicians leaned forward as Rex demonstrated real K9 alert signals. How he tried to warn handlers about Whitaker. How he'd been declared defective for refusing to attack. When Senator Harris asked why he survived, Rex did something unscripted. He retrieved Hope from Lydia's lap and carried the puppy to the podium. The message was clear. Some soldiers rebuild what others break. That evening, the K9 Veteran Protection Act passed unanimously. Rex celebrated by stealing Harris's steak, his first act of true civilian mischief. The scarred war dog was learning to just be a dog, but his eyes still snapped to attention at 2:17 a.m. Old habits, older ghosts. Claire found Jude reading to Rex under the glow of dinosaur nightlights, their heads bent over a scrapbook. "This is when you chose us," the boy whispered, touching the photo of Rex's emaciated face emerging from the wall. The German Shepherd licked Jude's cheek before assuming the watch position, front paws straight, chin up, as Hope and Lydia slept tangled together nearby. Outside, fireflies dotted the summer night like fallen stars. Rex's ears twitched at each sound, but his breathing remained deep. Some dogs guard sheep, some guard homes. Rex guarded childhood itself. The scraped knees and bad dreams, the secrets whispered into fur, the unshakable belief that monsters lose if good dogs try hard enough. When Claire kissed his scarred forehead, Rex sighed like a soldier finally off duty. But as she turned to leave, she caught him still watching the wall, not in fear, but readiness. Because every warrior knows, darkness always comes back. And so do they. Dr. Mendoza shaved Rex's last matted patch, revealing tattooed numbers beneath his fur. Star 7814 star. William's coffee cup slipped. That's a military identifier. Rex nosed Jude's hand toward the numbers, then to the boy's own wrist, where birthmarks formed a similar pattern. Claire's blood ran cold. Jude had those marks since infancy. Rex's low whine said what they all feared. This was no coincidence. Detective Brody pulled Whitaker's personnel file. He'd worked at the hospital where Jude was born. The pieces fit like a sniper's scope clicking into place. Rex licked Jude's wrist, his golden eyes holding a soldier's promise. I chose you before you were you. For the first time since rescue, Rex slept through the night. No pacing. No growls at shadows. Jude found him at dawn, paws twitching in dreams, tail thumping rhythmically against his dog bed. The video went viral. 85 pounds of battle-scarred German Shepherd chasing dream squirrels. But Claire noticed what others missed. Rex's collar lay discarded nearby. Not rejection. Freedom. That afternoon, Lydia presented him with a new tag. Rex Dawson Harrison. The dog who belonged to paperwork now belonged to a family. Still, when thunder rattled the windows at 2:17 a.m., old instincts took over. Rex stood guard over Jude's bed until sunrise. A sentinel who slept now, but never stood down. X-rays revealed shrapnel fragments near Rex's spine, matching a 2018 explosion at a Silver Creek PD training site. Dr. Mendoza traced the scars. These are combat medals written in flesh. Detective Brody dug deeper. Whitaker had been the K-9 unit's armorer. Rex's records listed him as destroyed due to instability, after refusing to detonate a suspect package containing a baby's cries. William knelt before the dog, hands trembling. You took a dishonorable discharge to save a child. Rex's response? He fetched Jude's stuffed bunny with gentle precision, dropping it in Lydia's lap instead. The message was clear. Some soldiers redefine honor. Lydia struggled to buckle the police-donated K-9 harness onto Rex. The dog stood rigid, muscles locked. Jude understood first. He doesn't want to be sergeant anymore. William removed the harness, replacing it with a simple blue bandana, the kind civilian therapy dogs wear. Rex's entire body relaxed. But when a firework exploded nearby, his training overrode trauma, herding Jude and Lydia inside in 3 efficient moves before standing guard at the door. Later, they found him teaching Hope to track sense using hot dog bits. Not a retired soldier. A reassigned one. Detective Brody chuckled as Rex, accidentally, knocked over his coffee. The dog's smirk said everything. I work for kids now. Your rules don't apply. Rex led them to the overgrown K-9 cemetery behind Silver Creek's decommissioned police station. His paws stopped at a weathered marker. Star 7814 star. Jude dug with plastic shovels until they hit a chewed-up rubber ball. Rex carried it home like a fallen comrade's flag. That night, William built a display case. Ball centered beside Rex's old tags and Jude's drawing. My dog is a hero. But the real memorial was subtler. Every morning, Rex performed a ritual, nudging Hope awake, then touching his nose to the case. Not grief, passing the torch. When Lydia asked why, Jude had the answer. He's teaching her how to be brave. Outside, thunder rumbled. Rex didn't flinch. The soldier might be retired, but his legacy was on duty. A dropped pan sent Rex plowing through a window. Shards sliced his paws as he scrambled to herd everyone into the basement. Dr. Mendoza sedated him before he bled out. Not aggression, she explained. Conditioning. Whitaker's logs confirmed it. Subject 7,814 associates metallic crashes with explosive sweeps. Jude's solution was genius in its simplicity. For a week, he played sous chef, deliberately banging pots while feeding Rex steak bits. By day 7, the dog only lifted his head at the noise. No longer a trigger, just dinner bells. The real breakthrough came when Hope copied him, sitting politely for her share. That night, Rex slept through a thunderstorm for the first time. His massive body curled around both children. Some wounds heal with medicine. Some heal with a boy's stubborn love and cheap sirloin. Lydia's school bully never saw it coming. When he shoved her, Hope's warning growl froze him mid-taunt. But it was Rex's arrival that changed everything. The German Shepherd positioning himself between them, not attacking, just standing. The boy wet his pants. Principal Harris called it intimidation. The therapist called it canine-mediated empowerment. Jude called it justice. That afternoon, Rex let Lydia train him with hot dogs, playing dead when she pointed finger guns. A game, until Hope copied them, rolling over when Jude said, "Bang!" William found them like that. 2 kids and 2 dogs in a shootout standoff, everyone giggling. Later, Rex would resume his watch. But for that golden hour, he was just a goofy dog, surrendering to the childhood he'd fought so hard to protect. Judge Callahan waived the waiting period when Rex brought her a tissue during Lydia's custody hearing. The paperwork made it official. Rex Dawson Harrison, K-9 veteran, now family member. But the real ceremony happened at home. Jude presented a handmade medal, construction paper, and glitter for Best Brother Dog. Lydia added her own, World's Okayest Snuggler. Rex wore both with ridiculous dignity, even when Hope tried eating his awards. That night, Claire found the dog standing guard over the kids' beds, not anxiously, but with quiet contentment. His tags gleamed in the moonlight. One official, one scribbled in crayon. William whispered what they all felt. "Welcome home, soldier." Outside, the wind carried distant barks. Rex's ears twitched, but he didn't stir. Some calls don't need answering anymore. Silver Creek PD threw Rex a full honors ceremony, complete with a 21 biscuit salute. The chief returned his shredded K-9 badge, now framed beside Jude's drawings. Rex tolerated the speeches, but perked up when they unveiled his gift. A lifetime supply of squeaky bacon. The real celebration was quieter. That evening, Rex led his ragtag platoon, Jude, Lydia, and Hope, on a victory lap around the backyard, showing off each healed scar like medals. When fireworks erupted, scheduled for 8 p.m., not 2:17 a.m., Rex only flinched slightly before Hope licked his muzzle. Lydia hooped as he finally chased a tennis ball like a regular dog. William caught Claire's tearful smile. This was the miracle no one predicted. Not just Rex's survival, but his joy. The video ended with all 4 piled asleep in a dog bed meant for one. Some retirements aren't endings, just new missions. Years later, long after the media left and the awards gathered dust, Rex still checked the basement wall every night. Not in fear, in remembrance. Jude, now 12, would join him sometimes, their reflections warped in the patched drywall. "You showed me how to be brave," the boy would whisper. Rex would lick his palm, then herd him upstairs because good soldiers protect kids from ghosts, even their own. On Rex's last night, the whole neighborhood gathered. Not with tears, but steak feasts and belly rubs. When he finally sighed his way into stillness, it was curled around Hope and the now teenagers, his muzzle gray but his eyes clear. The next morning, Jude found something extraordinary. Fresh claw marks on the basement wall. Not from panic. A message. "I was here. I mattered." And if you listened very closely at 2:17 a.m., some swore they still heard the faintest jingle of tags. A soldier's promise that love outlasts even death. Morning light revealed Rex's untouched food bowl for the first time in years. Jude knelt beside it, fingers tracing the chip in the rim from where Rex would nudge it against the wall. His way of saying, "More, please." Hope sniffed the bowl, then carried it to Lydia's room, dropping it beside her bed with a soft clunk. The message was clear. This relic belonged with them now. That afternoon, William placed the bowl on the mantel beside Rex's tags. Not as a memorial, but as a challenge. Every scrape against tile would make them look up, half expecting to see a grinning muzzle. Grief, they learned, wasn't the absence. It was the habit of love outlasting its object. Even now, when Jude spills cereal, Hope still backs away, leaving room for a ghost who taught them all how to take up space. Lydia refused to wash Rex's leash. The worn leather held his sweat, his determination, the very grooves of his teeth from when he'd tug toward danger. On difficult days, she'd wrap it around her wrist like a bracelet, his last tether becoming hers. Then came the morning Hope dug up Rex's buried training dummy in the backyard. Jude clipped on the old leash instinctively. The effect was instant. Hope stood taller, ears pricked forward in perfect mimicry. Now, when nightmares come, Lydia loops the leash around her bedpost while Hope sleeps atop Rex's old K9 vest. The message in the fibers is unmistakable. I might be gone, but I left you each other. Sometimes, the leash sways in the breeze. Not empty, but waiting. 21 police cruisers lined their street at dawn, headlights cutting through fog. Officer Chun handed Jude a folded flag. Not the usual K9 tribute, but Rex's favorite beach towel, stitched with his name. The procession moved silently until Hope suddenly howled, a sound so piercing it shattered the solemnity. Then laughter as neighbors shared stories. Rex herding escaped chickens, stealing picnics, once disarming a nervous suspect by licking his hand. The chief presented Rex's badge to Lydia for exceptional courage in the field of childhood. That night, they buried the towel beneath the oak tree where Rex loved to nap. Jude placed a chewed tennis ball atop the soil. It was gone by morning, not stolen, accepted. Thunder cracked at 2:17 a.m., Rex's witching hour. Hope launched from bed, body slamming Jude's door open before circling Lydia's room in tactical sweeps. Not fear. Protocol. When the kids woke, they found her standing sentry at the top of the stairs, Rex's exact pose. Dr. Mendoza later explained, dogs inherit trauma and purpose, but Jude knew better. That night, Hope dreamed so vividly her paws twitched in military precision. Lydia recorded it. The video showed something extraordinary. Hope's movements mirrored Rex's training videos frame for frame. Not mimicry, transmission. Now, when Hope retrieves the paper, she first checks for explosives. When she barks at strangers, it's in 3 measured bursts. The leash may hold a different dog, but the soul on the other end feels hauntingly familiar. Rex's tags jingled at 3 a.m. Impossible, since they hung framed in the hallway. Yet there Hope stood, nosing the empty collar like receiving orders. Jude followed her to the basement wall where Rex had been entombed. Fresh paw prints dusted the concrete, too large to be Hope's. William's flashlight revealed what defied explanation. The word Lydia Rex had clawed years ago now had new marks beneath it. A crude but clear, plus Hope. The tags fell silent. Hope lay down, chin on paws, watching the wall with knowing eyes. Jude didn't tell the others. Some truths are felt, not explained. Now, whenever Lydia struggles, Hope drags Rex's collar to her. The jingles sounding suspiciously like, "You've got this." Maybe ghosts don't speak. Maybe they remind. Jude added rule number 4. Let others lick your wounds. The notebook went viral among veteran families. That's how Sergeant Hayes came to their door. A one-legged Marine with a service puppy named Rex Jr. Hope immediately demonstrated perfect heel position, making Hayes sob, "That's exactly how my K9 worked." Now, every month, Hope trains new service dogs using Rex's techniques. Nose bumps for panic attacks, paw and foot for grounding. The manual's last page holds Jude's shaky writing, Rule number 100. Love doesn't stop when you do. Under it, Hope left a single paw print, her signature. Jude played Rex's last voicemail on the anniversary of his passing. Just heavy breathing and a thump of tail against floor. As the recording ended, Hope suddenly tilted her head and unleashed a howl so precise it raised arm hairs. Then, from blocks away, another K9 answered. Then another. Soon, the neighborhood echoed with K9 tributes. Security footage later showed the remarkable chain reaction. 17 dogs, poodles, beagles, even a chihuahua, standing at attention during the 32-second hell. The local paper dubbed it the bark herd round the county. But Lydia noticed what others missed. The timestamp, 2:17 a.m. That night, she found Hope sleeping with Rex's old badge between her paws. Some songs aren't taught. They're remembered across dimensions. Now, every year at that exact hour, Jude and Lydia leave Rex's favorite treats at the K9 memorial. They're always gone by dawn. Senator Harris's aide arrived with a wooden crate marked, "For Rex's family." Inside, a bronze statue of a German shepherd mid-stride, Hope's face looking up in wonder. The attached card read, "From the 143rd K9 unit, your boy saved 3 of ours." Jude placed it in the garden where Rex loved to sunbathe. That evening, Lydia caught Hope wiping her paws at the statue's base before meals. An exact replica of Rex's pre-dinner ritual. Security cameras captured the impossible. On windy nights, the heavy statue's head turns to track Hope playing. William swears it's just loose bolts. But when Jude leaves his report card by the statue, it's always lick-smudged by morning. Not paranormal, just patrol continuing. The senator's last visit summed it up. You don't retire from being a hero. You just get creative with the job description. Jude woke gasping. Rex had licked his cheek, the sensation too real to dismiss. Downstairs, Hope stood alert at the door, tail wagging at empty air. Then they smelled it. Wet dog and peppermint, Rex's favorite toothpaste. The security system showed nothing, but the mudroom mat was indented with massive paw prints. Lydia, ever practical, laid out Rex's favorite towel. Just in case. At breakfast, they found Hope gently mouthing an invisible leash, walking heel position beside no one. Dr. Mendoza called it bereavement behavior. The K9 unit's chaplain called it a posthumous check-in. Jude knew the truth when he found his bed warm where Rex used to sleep. Some goodbyes aren't forever. Some are just be back soon. That night, Lydia left the dog door unlocked. Hope still steps aside at dinner, leaving room at the bowl for a presence only she can see. Hope reacted instantly, pressing her nose to each groove like reading Braille. Jude translated aloud. He wasn't scratching to get out. He was writing to stay. Lydia, now 16, added the final piece with spray paint. A giant Rex-shaped shadow beside the words, like a guardian angel in dog form. The contractor offered to drywall over it. Like hell, William said. Now, the basement is a pilgrimage site for K9 handlers and rescued kids alike. Hope leads tours, sitting proudly beneath the inscription. Some call it a miracle. The family knows better. It's just what love looks like when you fight for it tooth and nail, then leave the light on so others can follow. Dr. Mendoza's old ledger listed Rex's original owner, K9 Officer Ben Torres, MIA 2018. A Google search revealed Torres' photo. Same scar over his eyebrow as William. That night, Hope brought Jude Torres' dog tags she dug up. The dates aligned with Rex's shrapnel wounds. Not a stray, a soldier who chose his mission. Now, every Memorial Day, they leave bacon at the K9 Memorial extra for the handler whose name Rex never forgot. Hope always licks the stone clean, her tail wagging at empty air. Some reunions happen beyond sight. Some bonds outlast even death. Jude tossed Rex's slobbery tennis ball into the woods. A final goodbye. Next morning, it sat pristine on his pillow. Security cameras showed Hope carrying it in at 2:17 a.m., but the way she dropped it, gentle like delivering contraband, said everything. Now it's a game. Jude throws, Hope retrieves, but the ball always ends up somewhere impossible. The freezer, the shower, William's police briefcase. Yesterday, Jude found it in Rex's old hiding spot beneath the porch, covered in fresh drool. Hope was inside all day. The kids don't question it anymore. Some games have 3 players. One just plays invisible. Sergeant Hayes arrived with a puppy, Rex's great-nephew from the same K9 line. The moment Rex Jr. saw Hope, he locked into perfect heel position. Hayes' jaw dropped. That's Ben Torres' signature move. Later, Hope demonstrated mine detection drills no one taught her. Now, every Sunday, she trains the new recruits. The shelter calls it miraculous. The kids know better. Sometimes, when Hope gets stuck, her head tilts like she's listening to instructions. Jude swears the basement wall feels warm during these sessions. Not haunting, coaching. The circle isn't broken. It just grew wider. 3 a.m. Jude woke to howling. Hope was gone, but the dog door hadn't budged. They found her at the K9 cemetery, digging frantically at Rex's memorial plaque. Beneath it, a mud-caked Kong toy Rex buried years ago. Hope carried it home like treasure, dropping it in Lydia's lap before resuming sleep. The security footage defied logic. Hope never left her bed. Yet the toy was real, reeking of river water and peppermint. Lydia keeps it on her nightstand. Some retrieves span worlds. Some bonds outlast lifetimes. The toy still squeaks, though no one touches it. Hope's puppies arrived with Rex's exact markings. Same scar patterns, same milky left eye. The vet confirmed it. Genetically impossible. Yet here they were, 6 squirming replicas of a dog gone 3 years. Families adopted 5, but Jude kept the runt, naming him Benny. The first night home, Benny slept in Rex's old spot. At 2:17 a.m., the baby monitor caught him sitting alert, tiny paws positioned in perfect K9 stance. On the wall behind him, Rex's shadow appeared briefly before fading. Not a replacement, a relay. The circle unbroken. The watch continued. Lydia fastened Rex's old collar on Benny for Halloween. The effect was instant. The pup stood taller, sniffing the air like catching a scent. At the parade, he herded toddlers away from the road, just like Rex taught Hope. When fireworks erupted, Benny didn't flinch, just licked Jude's palm in reassurance. That night, the collar vanished from its hook. They found it in the basement, draped over Rex's claw marks. Benny slept soundly beside it, his tiny chest rising in sync with Hope's across the room. Some handoffs happen in silence. Some lessons skip generations. Sergeant Hayes' last letter arrived posthumously. Rex's file was falsified. He took 3 bullets shielding Ben Torra's body. They found him still growling over his handler. Enclosed was Rex's real medal, the one denied for insubordination. That night, Benny dragged Torra's dog tags to Hope. Together, they placed them beneath Rex's statue. At dawn, the metal was polished bright, the ribbon crisp. Benny's paws were muddy. Hope's muzzle bore grass stains. The security tape showed only wind. But the kids know, some parades don't need witnesses. Some honors come after dark. K9 training graduation day. Benny aced every test, even the advanced explosives drill Hope couldn't know. As he received his badge, Hope suddenly tilted her head and howled. Every service dog joined in, a chorus echoing across the field. Then, from the woods, a deep, familiar bark answered. The trainers shrugged it off as an echo. But Benny's ears pricked toward the basement wall that night, tail wagging at nothing. Jude smiled. Rex's legacy wasn't gone. It was just being handed down, one proud bark at a time. The watch never ends. It just changes shifts. Renovations finally covered Rex's basement wall. As the drywall went up, Benny scratched one fresh groove, a tiny B beside Rex's R. That night, the thermostat spiked to 101 degrees at 2:17 a.m. The camera caught Benny playbowing to empty air, his movements mimicking Rex's old training videos. By morning, the wall was cool. Only Hope noticed the single paw print in the dust. Too large to be Benny's, too fresh to be memory. Some goodbyes are hellos in disguise. Some walls don't divide. They connect across time. The patrol continues. Years later, Jude's daughter finds an indent on Benny's dog bed, the shape of a much larger dog. The security feed shows nothing, but Benny shares his dinner with the empty space every night. When thunderstorms hit, the girl swears she hears 3 tails thumping. Benny's, Hope's, and one more. The vet calls it imagination. The K9 chaplain nods knowingly. But Lydia, now a trauma therapist, keeps Rex's collar on her desk. Not a relic, a reminder. Love never retires. Heroes don't fade. They just stand watch from further away. The bowl stays full. The door stays open.